Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Muffed Podcast. As always, my name is Buzz, and with me is Lemiter and Aaron. Sorry,
That's not my name.
my bad. Fuck, Rob Manford.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's all you guys want to say?
Yeah. Just move on to the intro. Into the song.
I got to do this before Lemiter says, "Yep, let's go." Lemiter, you want to say it this time? I'll actually screw this
All right,
up.
let's jump into it.
So the first topic, we're going to start off with a new segment. We're going to do this probably every week. I guess hopefully we'll try to do that. We're going to do our highlights of the week. We're just going to kind of talk about what has happened in sports in the past week. And, maybe we'll just discuss what's going on. So, Aaron, do you want to take it away?
So I know you guys aren't the biggest baseball fans, but probably the biggest story so far is the whole Joe Kelly incident, which I know Lemiter watched, and Boaz, I think you saw that too, right? So basically, he was just pitching completely wild. He was pitching like really ass, and then all of a sudden he's just like, fuck it, dude, I'm just going to start throwing shit at the Astros. So he does that, right? And then it starts this whole benches clearing brawl, and he has like, I don't know if you saw his face. Have you seen the faces he
smiles,
makes?
Right? Yeah, he smiles, or like he makes like a weird face.
No,
he goes.
All right. You guys should definitely watch
really?
John Boy Media, because he's like a guy that does all these breakdowns. It's so funny. You should watch the John Boy Media video about that, because he's really good at lip reading, so he can get everything. And oh my god, it's so funny. And it was nice to see, because we were just waiting for this to happen, because the Astros cheated and there was no backlash for it at all. And then we finally see the team that they got screwed over, basically, because in 2017 it was Astros-Dodgers in the World Series. We finally got to see them retaliate. And it was interesting. And Joe Kelly, who just went from he realized like he just can't find the strike zone, and he just ended up he's just like, fuck it, dude. If I'm gonna pitch like ass, I'm gonna start beating these people. So I really appreciate that. And he's become like an internet legend just overnight. And honestly, I'm
sports legend.
Honestly, he's like honestly one of my favorite pitchers now. It's amazing, man. So shout out to Joe Kelly for that. And of course, Rob Manfred, Mr. I Hate Baseball, Rob Manfred, came out and suspended Joe Kelly for 8 games, including the Dodgers manager for 1 game. Which honestly, and he also fined Dusty Baker, the Astros manager, who wasn't the Astros manager at the time of the cheating, because that manager was suspended. But Joe Kelly, for not even, let's get this straight, he didn't hit anyone. He just threw fastballs right at their heads, and it just went over their heads, right? And he's been suspended for 8 games for that, which, by the way, a normal suspension for that's like 1 or 2 games. So he's suspended for 8 games in a 60-game season, which is like 10% of the season. And Astros players have been suspended. They suspended 0 games for the biggest cheating scandal in like 100 years, since like the Chicago White Sox back in like 1908. But so that's just how baseball is right now. I don't know what the fuck's up with Rob Manfred. He's literally the worst commissioner of all time. I'd rather have 3 Roger Goodells running every single like fucking corporation.
I was gonna say that this is a dub for Roger. This is such a dub for Roger Goodell, because for the first time I feel like everyone's been like, oh, Roger Goodell, you're a fascist. Dave Portnoy, whatever, where he locked himself in handcuffs and he had to get like taken out because he hated the Deflategate ruling. I feel like for the first time, Roger Goodell, first he has that the draft where he's sitting on the couch and he's all drunk and shit, and he's like, eating his M&Ms by the handful. He's starting to look like maybe he's like a normal person. Maybe he's not just some, the next coming of Adolf Hitler. And thank you, Rob Manfred, for that.
Oh my God, anyways. And then my second highlight, I'll keep this one a little shorter than that. I have the Miami Marlins getting COVID-19, just like basically the entire team at this point. They have 16 out of the 30 people on the active roster, and then 2 coaches too. And I mean, I know, like, I would text you guys, I was like, oh fuck, dude, the baseball season's canceled, football season's canceled, like it's all fucked, right? Because I thought they just got that the infection from like just playing the games like with each other. But the story comes out that they pulled a Lou Williams and went down to the Atlanta strip club for some titties and some chicken wings. And apparently, I don't know if they went to the strip club, but they had a night out in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then that's how they got corona.
Not the titties, the chicken wings. That's what I was
Yeah. But that's how they got corona. That made me think. I was like, okay, so they're breaking protocol to go out and do this. Because the reason I was so negative about the football season is because the MLB is not in a bubble. They're doing like a coast thing. So like the West teams only play the teams on the West. And I thought like teams were getting coronavirus just from doing that. But it turns out the Marlins were going out. So, fuck the Miami Marlins, So yeah, just for that, almost ruining the season.
I'm hoping that Roger Goodell and the NFL takes a little bit of a hint from the MLB. So I think the Marlins are suspended and not playing. They're not going to be for at least the next couple of weeks, right? Because they're testing them all and all.
Yeah.
And, they're going to decide.
Yeah.
I think honestly, Roger Goodell should look at that. And I think when a team in the NFL, let's say something like this happens, You just got to look at it. Does the team matter? Like the Marlins, like nobody really gives a fuck. Like there's like 3 Marlins fans. It's like, let's say if this happens to like, let's say the Jets, or let's say this happens to, I don't know, throwing out the Miami Dolphins. I mean, you can, just be like, hey, we're going to suspend you for a couple of games. No one's going to watch you for the next couple of weeks. And really, I mean, most of America is not going to really care. I think even Dolphins fans for a few weeks can, they can spare and maybe be like Jacksonville Jaguars fans, maybe even Tampa Bay fans, So I like the decision. Yeah. That's all I gotta
say. Did you hear Pat McAfee? I was watching the Pat McAfee show. Shout out to that show. He said that this could potentially serve as like a good thing for the NFL because the players now see the consequences of being going out and stuff, and the team leaders, like the older veterans who want to win a trophy and stuff, win the ring. They could talk to their younger teammates and they could be like, "Hey guys, it's 6 months. Let's just can it. Then you guys could go out. Let's just win this. Let's stay inside because look at what happened to the Marlins." So I think this can serve as a good example for the boys.
But if you're a bad 100%. Team, but if you're a bad team, maybe you're like, fuck it, let's go get some wings. Let's go see some titties.
Oh my god!
we no, not that. Thank for Lawrence.
But if I'm being honest, this whole situation has actually gave me more confidence in the NFL because now that I know it's because the Miami Marlins are being stupid and not just the fact they're just playing each other, it actually has more confidence. Also, fun fact about this before I'll wrap this up. Apparently, another reason to say fuck Rob Manfred is because apparently there's no protocol in place for this. So apparently after the positive test came back for the Marlins, apparently they like took a team vote and they're just like, hey, you guys want to still play the Phillies? And they're like, yeah, fuck it, let's go play the Phillies. And the Phillies also okayed this. So there was no protocol in place, so they just kind of voted, and then someone came down and stopped it. They're like, no, we can't happen this. Also, shortstop for the Phillies, Didi Gregorius actually has some sort of condition that if he contracts coronavirus, he will actually like die. Oh, so like literally that the Miami Marlins almost killed my boy Didi Gregorius. So shout out to him. But yeah, so they that's probably the most fucked up part about that whole story, that they were just gonna fucking play before someone stepped in. So yeah, those are my sports topics of the week. So yeah.
All right.
Very nice.
Leader, what do you got?
Going off of that chicken wing story Aaron just narrated, our good friend Lou Williams from the LA Clippers, who are going to be 0-1 after the season restarts.
AD's got his eyes poked out. He's not going to be.
No, he's fine. He's fine. He's wearing goggles. He's got the Kareem look going. He's got the Kareem look going. Don't worry about it. But Lou Williams went out for chicken wings, lemon zested, or what was the flavor? Lemon peppered, yeah.
Yeah. Those should smack. Those are good. Those are good wings. I mean, they look good.
Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
I honestly, here's my question. I think if it was worth it, you asked him, was he there for the titties or was he there for the wings? He was there for the wings. I respect him because, I mean, you can't, like, those wings look good. I don't think you can get them anywhere. Like, I don't think you can get them, like, DoorDashed over to, like, Rishwan Holmes was getting. But if it was there for the titties, I mean, I can respect that. I feel like you go on your phone. I don't think Pornhub is blocked in the hotel. I mean, he could have done that at home.
Dude, what if the team coaches have that privilege to block certain sites for the players?
I mean, what is the thing? You're not supposed to do that before a game, right? Because of testosterone levels. So, I can see that. The meters on some points. Maybe I guess either way, titties and wings, both could be good reasons to just to get yourself kicked out of the first game.
Yeah, my second story. Let's jump into that.
Oh, wow.
I know you guys aren't big soccer fans, or football, as we say here in Europe.
Hey.
I'm not in Europe, actually. Just kidding. But the Premier League just concluded in England. So Liverpool, LeBron's team, like he owns a stake in there. Got the dub. They won the league. And then Leeds United, a team which the 49ers have a stake in, got promoted to the first division in England, so the Premier League. And that was pretty cool. And my team, Manchester United, finished third, so I'm not all too mad. And then the league in Italy also concluded, which Cristiano Ronaldo, the GOAT of soccer, like the Michael Jordan of soccer for our casual fans, won another league, 9th title in a row for Juventus.
He's got 9 titles in a row?
The team he plays for has 9 titles. He didn't play for them two seasons before. This is second on the trot.
I got bored of watching the Patriots every year. I can imagine watching a team win 9 straight titles. Like that just seems terrible.
Yeah, no,
Oh my god.
I mean, I can see why maybe people are Messi fans now. I kind of get that. You know?
Messi's never moved. You know what? I'm not gonna get into that argument. Get out of here. I'm done. Bo, it's your turn.
Okay. I mean, the first one I had, which I think like everyone started focusing on the Mike Tyson fight. I mean, that's all pretty much a week away, or a week ago. That was all revealed. I think either Wednesday or Thursday. So the Mike Tyson fight came out. I was like, holy shit, Mike Tyson's coming back. We saw those videos, and he was talking about Jerry Rice, so he's my inspiration for coming back. But I think what people really weren't, like everyone glossed over. Like I don't see anybody talking about Nate Robinson and Jake Paul are fighting. Like this is like what the fuck. And I mean, I want to know who do you guys? Because I mean, Jake Paul has the height advantage and the reach advantage, I would imagine as well. But Nate Robinson used to be, I mean, he was fucking amazing dunker back in the day. So I mean, he's got, maybe he'll do like a jump type of shit. Like I don't know, is this boxing or MMA? I don't know if that's really allowed in boxing. But MMA, I don't see why not. So, do you guys, who do you think, who do you got going out? Jake Paul or Nate Robinson?
Just because you bring up the jumping thing, there's this Indian movie, or there's an Indian movie director who has like the signature scene where the superhero, the hero of the movie always jumps and like smashes the dude on the head. And if Nate Robinson does that shit, dude, it's game over. There's no coming back from that.
I was thinking the Bruce Lee, the flying jump kick, that was like his signature. Maybe he does like that, but he does with a punch,
yeah, dude, that's the only reason why I'll take Nate Robinson.
I think that's who I'm going with too. Aaron, what do you think? Are you Jake Paul?
You know what, guys? I think you guys are letting your hate blind you here, because we all know how much everyone hates Jake Paul because he's a fucking asshole, right?
That's true, yeah.
Me. I mean, I've never said this to you guys before, but I'm a really big Sidemen fan. I don't know if you guys watch the Sidemen at all. Do you watch them at all?
KSI is right, yeah. KSI's whole group, yeah.
KSI's group, yeah. I love them. They're like they're probably my favorite YouTube group, and I watch KSI a lot. I've been watching KSI for a long time. So basically, and KSI's a boxer. I'm not really into boxing or anything like that, but he's pretty good. I've seen him like box. So he was watching a video of Nate Robinson like on the pads, and like if you look at Nate Robinson's punches, they're pretty stiff. They're pretty like what I'm doing right now, just like fucking like that. But Jake Paul is someone who's had had lots of boxing fights before. He's boxed Joe Weller. He's boxed KSI's brother Deji, Comedy Shorts Gamer.
Yes.
And then, like, Jake Paul is actually kind of shredded. Like, Nate Robinson obviously shredded, super athletic. But if you take a look, like, Jake Paul has more experience than Nate Robinson looks like. And Nate Robinson didn't look that good with his little punches on the pads, but I saw personally. So as much as I hate to say it because I fucking hate Jake Paul, I think Jake Paul will take this one.
I mean, you also got to see they're both from Ohio. That's like the grass-fed, those Midwestern type of guys. Those are beefcakes. I mean, you're right. I don't think you can underestimate him. But I'm going to go with, the guy who's been an actual professional athlete, not a dude who stands in front of the camera and goes out in Arizona when you're supposed to have like COVID quarantine and shit like that.
Hey man, I'm just saying what I see.
I think this is.
Hey man,
I know. I respect that. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think this is just a story that not a whole lot of people are covering. And I think the Muffed Podcast needs to shine some light on this.
Yes, we're the People's Podcast after all.
We are the People's Podcast.
Definitely, yeah. No, everyone calls it that. The next one I have is Caleb Farley, a Virginia Tech cornerback, who in a bunch of mock drafts was projected to be a 2021 first rounder. He's opting out of the season, and he's kind of the first college football player to be like doing that. So with that being said, is the NFL draft going to be this year? Is it going to be just pretty much guys are the scouts going to be like, what the fuck? Like what's happening? Is this guy going to drop? And do you guys think more will follow? Because I think there's a lot of teams that are going to be doing spring league games. So if that's going to happen, let's say Trevor Lawrence, if he wants to come, I don't think he's going to play spring league. He's going to be training for the combine. So what do you guys see with the future of the NFL draft next year? What do you think is going to happen?
What is the NBA doing for their draft? Because isn't the NBA draft usually around this time anyways?
The NBA draft is October. They postponed the NBA draft this year to October, and I think we still don't know what's going to happen with basketball because that's still a few months away. But college football, right now they would have training camp. I think they still are. Some states are allowing that. I think most of the SEC, like in the South, I think most of them are doing training and stuff like that. But there's a whole lot of schools that have talked about not doing fall games and doing spring games. And if that's the case, I feel like that would interfere with a lot of the things such as, the combine and preparing for the draft and stuff like that. So I feel like maybe guys would do like what Nick Bosa did. I remember where he just, said, fuck it, I'm not playing the rest of the season because I don't want to get injured. Because like, let's say Trevor Lawrence plays and he gets injured during the spring league games. And then, now he's no longer a first rounder. Like it could, or at least maybe he's no longer the number 1 overall pick. So
look at Nick Bosa, dude. He's been doing well. I think dedicated time to prepare for the NFL, I think mentally puts players into the NFL like mindset, and like they won't show up out of shape. They'll be more like accustomed to teams playbooks and stuff like that because they'll get time to study that instead of competing week in, week out. They'll get times to make their bodies right. So I think it'll be fine.
And I think we see more and more like personal trainers will be. Oh, sorry. I mean, let me just make this one last. I think personal trainers now are getting like very similar to what you'd have in your team. So it's not like even if you're like you hire someone and you're just doing one-on-one stuff, I don't think you're going to be that far behind someone who actually did play.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
I mean, this is a tough question because like he's opting out. You say, what's he going to do to his draft stock? I mean, I don't really know because there's still so many variables here because like we don't know if like football is going to work essentially because if you think about it, like the NBA, I think is 100% going to go flawlessly. Baseball is kind of in a bump in the road right now, but football, there's just so many people on that team, and there's like big fucking sweaty linemen. They're like clashing heads. Like, we don't know how well that's going to go. I'm hoping for the best, but honestly, if college players start opting out, or if the season gets axed, like we don't know what's going to happen. I feel like there's a chance like the whole college football season, like lots of college teams won't even play. So with that being said, I feel like all those guys' draft stocks will plummet, and like the few colleges that maybe do get some games, and their guys will rise. But it's hard to say because we don't really know what's going to happen. Like we can like I can like say like he's going to fall, but we don't even know if the college football season is going to go all the way through. We don't know if the NFL football season is going to go all the way through. I mean, if baseball can have the whole Marlins like get infected and then somehow like recover and like finish the season, I think the NFL might have a better chance. But like there's just too many. It seems like there's too many people in the NFL for it to be safe. But I don't know. I'm hoping for the best, but like overall, like I think a lot of people's draft stocks are going to tank, and they might end up postponing the draft. But that's like bottom of the fucking like.
Yeah, I'm hoping by draft next year. I mean, we got a cure. That's what I'm fucking hoping for. But I mean, there's people saying that potentially speaking, maybe I thought the NBA was discussing maybe they do a bubble for the 2020 to 2021 season as well. And with that being said, so like let's say Trevor Lawrence, I don't know, I keep using him as an example, but let's say Trevor Lawrence this year is going to be like, I'm going to stay for a senior year just because I want to raise my draft stock. Let's say like he doesn't play, and let's say now some other dude played, like Justin Fields played. I don't know why, but Justin Fields played. He didn't play. Justin Fields is now the number one overall, presumably the number one overall pick. He is not anymore. Maybe he can wait one more year because he still has eligibility to play senior year. But it becomes kind of this weird thing, like what's going to happen. But I think it's definitely something that's going to change, and it could lead to people were saying that this year is going to have a lot of busts because you couldn't do as much talking to the players, you couldn't do as much scouting. Next year is going to be even more of a crapshoot. You're literally just going to go off of last year's tape, and you're going to go off names and maybe some interviews, and you better hope maybe teams are going to be busting more. But
if Lawrence is sitting there, I don't think anybody's not taking him at 1. He's a Zion type of guy. If Trevor Lawrence is there, you got to take him.
I mean, Joe Burrow was never thought of as being the number one overall pick last year.
But there was no like clear-cut number one until Tua got injured.
Tua was presumably going into it. Everyone thought he was kind of the Trevor Lawrence. Everyone thought for sure Tua was going number one. And yeah, he got injured in that.
Yeah, his injury issues are what kept him from going number one. And Joe Burrow just having like a record-shattering year. I don't think. First of all, it's hard to recreate what Joe Burrow did. Secondly, Trevor Lawrence doesn't have these injury concerns. Rather, it's just COVID concerns, which I think
if he's sitting out, let's say he sits out and Justin Fields has an amazing year, or let's say Trey Lance has an amazing year, or who's the dude from Iowa State? I think Brock Purdy. If he has one of those guys has an amazing year, they just jump up. Maybe it could be teams might be like this guy has experience. We just saw him. Trevor Lawrence could maybe not.
Lawrence has been playing for 2 years. He's played well.
That's
for
true.
2 years.
Yeah. So that's more than Mitch Trubisky or some quarterback.
Yeah,
like Dwayne Haskins.
I still think Trevor Lawrence is a better prospect than Tua, and what's his face? This guy Joe Burrow.
Oh, Burrow. I don't know about Burrow yet, but I would agree that I think Tua. I think a lot of scouts would say that Lawrence right now is a safer pick. I don't think Lawrence is Andrew Luck. Lawrence isn't like Andrew Luck, where Andrew Luck just completely just dominated college football. But I think Lawrence could be. I mean, if he
talented, if not more.
If he plays this year, he could be. I mean, he's pretty much since his freshman year, people have been saying he's going to be the number one overall pick. So it's only his to lose, pretty much.
Yep.
Aaron, you have anything else?
Yeah, this doesn't really have anything to do with what we've been talking about, but it has something to do with your topic. I just want to pour one out. This is going to be my drink. I don't have a drink.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers
pour one out.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
He poured out tequila when Jordan Love got drafted.
Oh, shit.
Aaron Rodgers, 4 shots of tequila.
I'll just drink some whiteboard cleaner.
All right, sorry, Aaron.
So I got to pour one out for all the undrafted free agents this year because that they're probably not making the NFL. Because Adam Thielen came out a while ago and said he's like, hey, if this happened my rookie season, I don't even think I'm in the NFL. So I just want to point out there might be some talent lost in this whole coronavirus thing. It sucks, but yeah, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. So I mean, hopefully those undrafted free agents get a chance to prove themselves eventually.
Yeah, I think a couple of them are talented enough. I think a couple of them might sneak through the cracks, like this guy on the Niners named Jared Maiden, safety. He was supposed to be drafted in the 4th round, but like he didn't. He was injured for the combine, and his pro day got canceled. That's why he could. The
Niners got those 2 running backs that people have been talking about. Was it Jermichael Hasty and
Sullivan
Ahmad? Yeah. From Washington,
especially with no preseason games too.
But no, I think one thing we're not thinking about is also that there's gonna be players who are opting out, so that leaves a couple of spots open
and increased practice squad.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think there's also like a COVID squad too. So like you have kind of so potentially speaking throughout the season, if guys get sick, maybe those guys will have a chance to get on the roster based off of that. But you're right. It does kind of suck that you don't get your preseason game opportunities. All right, let's go into the next segment. Are we doing I don't know what name we're gonna call it. I guess the name that we have so far, we're gonna stick with Blitzarro League. It's kind of like if Dave Damashek, he used to have the NFL. I know we were trying to copy that, kind of like that. But Blitzarro League. Last week we were talking about what would happen if Jimmy Garoppolo, the trade. Right at the end we just kind of put a little part in. We were just like, what would happen if Jimmy Garoppolo was on the Browns? Like, let's say he got traded, never went to the 49ers. That trade went through because I think the rumor was, there's 2 parts to it: either that Bill didn't want him, or to go to the shitty team, or that what's the other one? I think the other one is that it didn't go through to the deadline. But Lemire, this is all hypothetical. It didn't happen in real life. All hypothetically. We're just gonna have a little bit of fun.
I'm fine. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for making me feel good.
Yeah, no, Lemire, he's on the Niners. But hypothetically speaking, let's say he is on the Browns right now. We'll say, he still has a number 10 jersey that Aaron just brought up, but now, it's brown. It's brown and orange or whatever their colors are. But, so I think we're going to go in turns and we're just going to kind of see, like, what impact it has on the league. And I think, Aaron, do you want to start off? You just go off what you think is the biggest impact first off.
Oh, so I'm just like, in general, what's the biggest impact?
Wait, we're not recreating the story.
Let's
just recreate the story.
Yeah, so we'll go like the past. Like, what do you think happens? Up to you. You can go. You can choose which direction we start off in.
Jimmy gets traded on October 30th, 2017. Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded to the Cleveland Browns for 2 first-round picks. Yeah. For the
so big haul for the Patriots.
Oh no, wait, they had multiple first-round picks the year of Baker, right?
They did, but I think it was going to be 2018 and a 2019. I believe that's what
okay. 2018-19 first-round picks.
Yes,
that's what they got.
So they would presumably. Let's start off. So Aaron, which direction do you want to go in? Do you want to go with the Patriots? Do you want to go with the Browns, the Niners?
Ooh, let's start off. Ooh, this is tough. Let's start off with the Browns, actually. I'm going to start off with there. Let's start with the Browns. So, at the time Jimmy G gets traded, it was like week 9, right?
Yeah, approximately.
Yeah,
8, 9.
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
You can cut this out, but Donovan Solano just hit a 3-run bomb. Giants just tied it 6-8. Anyways,
let's go. Let's go.
Okay. Anyways,
go ahead.
So, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the Browns. So at the time, they probably get traded like the Browns are like 0-7 at this point. Obviously, we know that the Browns just end up going 0-16. Yeah. So yeah, with Jimmy at the helm, we saw what he did to the Niners that season. The Niners looked like they were competing with the Browns to be the worst team in the league that season. So
they were.
And then all of a sudden Jimmy just comes in and it's like, oh my God, Garoppolo mania! Like, they win like 6 games.
We were gonna take on Berkeley, he ruined it for us.
I think that could be a point. Anyways, so
maybe
I feel like if he goes to Cleveland, I feel like the Browns win at least 3 to 4 games, and I think they end up with a better record than the 49ers, who at this point are just having CJ Beathard or Hoyer. So I think that puts the Browns behind the Niners, and let's just say the Niners get the number 1 overall pick in the draft that season, 2018 Baker year. So with that being said, I say the Browns have a better season. The Niners just completely shit the bed, and then they get the number 1 overall pick. So I don't know what order we going in. So whoever can go next.
Let's go Lemire. Lemire was upset. He was the most upset about Jimmy leaving.
Okay.
Lemire, now you're the Niners. You got the number 1 overall pick. You got an option. You want to go free agency?
Kirk Cousins could be available. I'll go free agency.
You're the number 1 pick.
honestly, what I really want to do is Jimmy doesn't sign with the Browns because they're a shithole, and he likes Kyle Shanahan, so he comes to San Francisco. We still get Jimmy, but we get the number 1 overall pick as well. You see where I'm going?
I don't think they're going to trade 2 first-rounders and not re-sign him. I don't see that happening.
They'd probably franchise him. Yeah, you're right.
I think he stays. I think you got to. I mean, as funny,
Just for the sake of the segment. He stays in Cleveland. Just say that
he stays in Cleveland. Just make it a little more. Because if you said that, it ends right. Pretty much it ends. That's all.
No. We can say Niners have Saquon Barkley, and how do they do this year?
Well, I mean,
yes. Okay, I got the point.
You're choosing the quarterback. You're choosing the quarterback. Are you taking one with the number 1 overall pick, or are you going free agency route? I think the only one I can think of is Kirk Cousins. If you guys think of anybody else who was available as a quarterback that year, 2018, that was any significant value. Bridgewater,
Josh Allen, because Lemire loves Josh Allen.
I think Bridgewater might have been. Well, okay. Here's what I was gonna say. I think that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson are 2 guys that, even though they're probably the best ones, that, like, thinking back now, hindsight,
they're not getting picked. They're not getting picked that high.
I don't think they're getting picked that high
by Shanahan.
And by Shanahan either, because they don't seem like Shanahan. I feel like Darnold
Rosen would be the Shanahan pick.
But is he at first? I don't think the number 1 overall pick. I think everyone at that time,
right?
The number 1 overall pick.
Then all 4 of those guys were in the first overall pick conversation: Baker, Rosen, Allen, and Darnold.
But I remember Darnold. Everyone thought that Cleveland was going to take Darnold, and then it was a surprise that they took Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. For me personally, it's between Rosen and Cousins, and Shanahan really liked Cousins even after they traded for Jimmy. So I'm going to go they get Kirk Cousins.
All right. So I'm going to do the pick then. I guess that would be what I'm doing with the first one. So, I mean, they're not going to go with quarterback, which is going to be kind of surprising. So I don't think running back also with the number 1 overall pick. I mean, as much as I love Saquon Barkley, maybe I can say they trade down, but like 1 spot, because Giants still take him. I think it's between the Saquon, Bradley Chubb, and Denzel Ward.
Oh, you're forgetting Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson too.
They got McGlinchey that year, so I'd say they'd probably stick with an offensive lineman.
But I think they took a tackle. You are right, but I think also I could see them going with Chubb and taking a defensive end, an edge rusher.
Like, personally, I think they trade down to like the 4 or 5, grab Nelson, and then wait for the tackle in the second. That would be the ideal scenario in that.
So the 4th pick would be Cleveland, because that was what they had. 4th pick Cleveland, if you're saying. Okay, well, let's think about this for a second, because I don't want to make my final decision. All right, and what do you think? Do you think out of those guys, Saquon, Nelson, Ward, Chubb?
I don't think
meaning Nelson.
Chubb. I don't think Chubb was rated that highly going into the draft. So
he was rated pretty highly.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was the 5th pick, I think.
4th pick, Broncos.
Oh, yeah, no, 5th pick was Cleveland.
Oh,
yeah, 5th. Oh, no, it was one of them.
I'm getting the Chubbs confused. I'm thinking of the running back on the Browns.
Not Nick Chubb, Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb. I got my Chubbs confused. I'm sorry.
To the Broncos. I think 5th. I think he was 5th. I think
Denzel 4th or 5th. Denzel was 4th. Yeah, you're right.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I mean, the Niners went Solomon Thomas this year. No, fuck, I'm stupid.
They went
McGlinchey. We already said that. We already meant that.
He went McGlinchey.
Yeah, so I don't think they would. Honestly, I feel like they might honestly take a Quentin Nelson or Saquon, if I'm being honest. Unless they or trade down.
I want Saquon, but I think knowing what Shanahan does with running backs, I don't think he values the position that highly to take him that.
In my mind, if you have the number 1 overall pick, you get your pick of anyone in the draft. Honestly, I think the Niners would just go Quentin Nelson there, just to beef up the O-line, in my opinion.
I'm between Nelson and Chubb. You guys, and I think you guys have convinced me that I think the line at the point. I mean, we didn't. I think this was before the trade to get Laken Tomlinson, I believe, as well.
No, Laken was the year before.
Was he 2018?
Really?
Was he in the early offseason?
But we didn't have a right guard. We had Mike Person starting there. Okay. And we still had Trent Brown that year, so we wouldn't trade Trent Brown.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about that. Trent Brown was there. So potentially speaking, Trent Brown stays. He was kind of bad in run blocking. I remember that was the big knock on him.
He was a good pass blocker.
McGlinchey or
Staley would
be the guard. Staley is still there. We still got Laken Tomlinson and then Weston Richburg in free agency that year. That's
a mean offensive line.
I think you guys have convinced me. I think we go with that, and I think Shanahan's building in trenches. You guys should pick between the offensive line and defensive line. We're going to go fix the offensive line with Quentin Nelson with the 1st overall pick. A little bit high, but with the 1st overall pick, Quentin Nelson.
Who did the Browns take then? That's Aaron's pick, right?
Well, I think let's go Giants. Do you think the Giants maybe take a quarterback?
Well, they have the spot. They still take Saquon. I think, in this spot because they're in the same spot. They're still in the same spot as before.
I'm saying maybe they like Baker. Maybe they were Baker guys.
Maybe they like Baker. I mean, like they had the chance to take another quarterback.
I'm just throwing shit out at you right now just to see if you want to spice. Oh, Aaron, all right, Saquon.
I mean, let's just say hypothetically the Browns get like the 4th and 5th picks. They get back-to-back picks because they if they get like 4 wins. They might actually have 3-4. Who's third? No, the Niners were third. Yeah, so I think the Browns.
No, the Jets were third. The Jets were third.
I keep thinking 2017. I keep thinking 2017.
2018.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. So the Browns get like 3 and 4. So I'm saying who the Browns pick. Well, in this situation,
so you're saying they get third. So that means the Jets you're saying are going to be 5th.
Jets are like 4th or 5th, yeah.
Or 5th.
Yeah. So the Browns get 3-4. Yeah. I see 3-4. I still think the Browns are going to snag Denzel Ward in one of those 2 picks. But then the other one's going to be the interesting one. Let's see, they have Myles Garrett.
I suggest Chubb Garrett. Honestly, that would be
Yeah, I'd say Browns would take Bradley Chubb. I say the Browns take Bradley Chubb and Denzel Ward and try to beef up the defense, make that ground and pound dog pound behind Jimmy G, handing it off. I think that's what they'll do. I think that's what they'll do.
They still get Nick Chubb in the
formula.
So then they do. So then I think Lemire, I think what's
okay. They have both Chubbs. That's a Super Bowl team right there.
They would have both Chubbs, yeah. Okay, so Lemire, for you it would be, so I think the Jets, right? We're going to say they have the 5th pick.
Yeah,
they're going to take Darnold probably still.
How does the quarterbacks how do the quarterbacks fall in?
Where does so 6 is now Denver. Does Denver maybe take a QB because they've been having troubles with QBs?
Yeah,
Baker's on the board.
Yeah, Baker's on the board.
I think Jets.
Josh Allen seems kind of like a Denver quarterback. Maybe they
passed on him earlier, anyways.
They did because Chubb fell that far. But now that Chubb is not there, maybe. I mean.
Yeah, Josh Allen does seem like an Elway quarterback. It screams Elway, but I like Josh Allen in Buffalo, to be honest. So I'm going to be selfish here, and I'm going to say the Broncos take Baker, and the rest of the quarterbacks still fall off.
Dude, that's like the opposite of John Elway. They take the shortest quarterback there, 6'1". No, that's cool. I mean, the Elway goes,
guys, let's think. Let me think.
Well, no, I can see that. He goes, the tall guys didn't work. Paxton Lynch didn't work for me. Osweiler didn't work for me.
He got Drew Lock. He got Drew Lock, who was also said to be very similar to Allen in that regard.
Yeah.
So I think it'd actually go Josh Allen. Josh Allen ends up in Denver. Buffalo needs a quarterback. I think they go Rosen at that point.
Rosen, and does Arizona still go?
Arizona gets Baker.
That's pretty good.
Then they don't trade Baker away, so Kyler never goes to Arizona. Oh, that means Niners don't get both sides. Oh, what? Okay, well that's for later. But yes.
Okay, so let's recap.
Baker goes to Arizona.
Yeah, so Baker was the first quarterback drafted in real life. In yours, he's the last one out of those guys.
Yeah.
Actually, no, Lamar's still there. Lamar goes to probably Baltimore with 32.
Yeah, everybody else is the same pretty much.
Okay, so now we got Arizona. Okay, so I guess we can do the 2019 draft. What happens there? So 2019 rolls around.
We have to talk about the 2018 season though.
2018 season. So I think New England pretty much stays the same. I don't think they don't change really all that much. Now they got we totally forgot that New England would have the first round pick. They would have the 4th pick. The Browns wouldn't have 2 picks.
No. Browns got it from what's it called? Houston.
Yeah, but they had 1 pick. They wouldn't have.
They got the 2nd pick from Houston.
Yeah, but they would only have 1 pick then because their pick got traded for Jimmy.
Oh, right. The Browns don't get.
They didn't get Chubb and Ward. They have to get either one or the other.
And let's just say New England gets the other.
The third pick. Let's say is New England getting the 3rd pick now?
I think they get the lower one.
Okay, let's say we're gonna backtrack here a little bit. We're doing this on the spot. So Aaron, we're gonna go back to you just real quick because we fucked up there.
All right, so New England gets 4 and the Browns get 3. Is that what we're going with?
Yeah.
So they can get both Chubb and Ward. So one of them is gonna go.
So I'd say in that situation, the Browns would go Ward at 3. I think because they already have Myles Garrett, so I think they need to beef up the corner position.
They passed on Chubb in real life, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I would go. I guess then Patriots get Chubb then.
Yeah, because Trey Flowers rocked the next season.
Yep.
So I don't see what else they could go there that would really make their team better besides that.
That doesn't change our order in any way. It just changes the teams. So so now we're saying I think the Patriots might even do. So the Patriots end up winning the Super Bowl 2019 season. I still think I don't think that changes with Bradley Chubb being on the team. That only amplifies their chances of doing that with Bradley Chubb. Then let's go Cleveland. Are they gonna go? Cleveland went 8-8, I believe, right? Or was it 8-7-1? I think they might have tied it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. They won 8 games.
Yeah, I think they upped that total because Baker had a big effect. 7-8-1.
7-8.
7-8. Okay. Yeah.
I
think Jimmy has like a Baker-like effect, to be honest.
So if that's the same. So let's say they're the same. They're gonna stick around the same, whatever, 8-8.
I think they might go 9-7, sneak into the playoffs.
I don't know if that would even. We have to look to. I don't think so. I'm going to say that they're going to stay around the same. I don't think that Jimmy has this profound, especially with Hugh Jackson still being there, and then they're also going to have the coaching turnover from Hugh Jackson to I'm blanking on the name. What's the quarterback coach?
Does that happen though with Jimmy? Does Hugh Jackson even get fired? Does Hugh Jackson even get fired in that situation?
Probably
does. He does. I don't see them being that much because like they still don't have that many weapons. Jimmy is still there. The offensive line is not bad. They got Nick Chubb there, which is cool. They don't have the 2 Chubbs because Bradley went to New England. And they got Denzel still. It's pretty much the same team. It's just really we're just
subbing Jimmy for Baker.
So I think they stay the same. I would say 7-8-1, maybe 8-8, whatever. Let's say they don't tie one game, they win it. So 8-8, still around the same. We're going to Niners with Kirk Cousins. Well, now we can't say that they're necessarily going to get. You don't know if Kirk is going to get injured. We're going to say Kirk stays healthy because he stayed healthy in the 2018 season. So
yeah, they got a couple more wins. Probably 8-8.
Not more than a couple.
I think Niners are playoff bound in this season, which means we don't get Nick Bosa out.
That was when Rams. Well, that was when the Rams made the playoffs. So I don't know if they're going to be playoff bound, but I would say let's say the Niners go like 8-8, 9-7. Maybe like 7-9 type of season. They're hovering around 800, close to the Browns. So they're not getting Nick Bosa. And then we're going for the last. Oh no, those were all 3 teams. So other than the Niners are no longer the second pick. They're a little bit better. So now, Aaron, I think you're gonna do the last one, right? I think you're gonna end this off for us. Who does based off all of that? Now I think the Cardinals still have the first pick. Or do they, Aaron? Do you think you get to choose?
Because with Baker, there's so many variables. We're just firing off at once. It's kind of hard to keep track of what would happen. Where.
That's true. Yeah,
but
we're going very
I feel like
as in depth as a.
If Baker's on the Cardinals, I think they're better. I don't think they get the number 1 pick. Who is number 2? Was the Niners? They're also better in this situation.
Number 3 was Jets.
3.
So Jets might be number 1. Jets with Rosen. Are we right?
Jets with Darnold. Jets still have Darnold, but
Darnold, okay. So Jets still have Darnold. So potentially speaking, the Jets are number 1. Jets have the number 1 overall pick.
Let's just go Jets number 1.
Aaron, make this interesting. Jets take Kyler Murray, ship off Darnold.
No, we're not doing that. I think the obvious pick is here. Pick is here because the Jets spend their first round picks on D-line every single season. I don't think that changes. Because they pick Quentin Williams anyway, so I think they go one step up. I think Nick Bosa's number 1 overall pick in this world that we made up, and he's a Jet.
Okay, so then the number 2 pick would be the Giants. So now, are they taking Kyler Murray instead of Daniel Jones?
100%. They got to. That just makes too much sense now.
Edelman takes Daniel Jones with the number 2 overall pick.
No, they're going Kyler in that situation. They're going Kyler.
Okay.
So I think that Kyler Murray's on the Giants now.
So I think that's all of the factors that have really changed. I would say
actually the Raiders were the 4 pick. The Raiders would be the 3rd pick.
And there were some rumors that John Lynch wanted to trade up. There was all these rumors that John Lynch wanted to or not John Lynch,
Gruden.
John Gruden. Fucking I'm mixing up my Johns. Gruden was going to try to trade up Kyler Murray and that he liked him.
And the Bucks are still there before the Giants.
You get Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray plays baseball and football in Oakland.
Wait, we're redoing this now. The Raiders have the number 1 overall pick.
Number 2 after Bosa.
Oh, Raiders are number 2. Oh,
they pick between. They have to pick between Kyler and Quinnen.
Who did the Raiders pick this year? Because this is when I stopped paying attention to them because they broke my heart.
They took Cleveland Farrell.
Cleveland Farrell. Oh, number 2. Did they still? Who was available?
Quinnen Williams.
What quarterbacks were available at number 4 in 2019? Was
Daniel
And just say, but that team loves Derek Carr too much. That's what I'm debating.
You got to make it interesting. Get Kyler, and then he plays baseball and football.
I'd say Kyler gets drafted by the Raiders. Honestly,
whoa! I could see the Raiders taking Quinnen Williams. Honestly, that sounds like a Raiders pick.
No, but I think Kyler Murray is a John Gruden type of guy. Like he wants to have a good quarterback who he can make.
Yeah, there were reports coming out where John Gruden was like he loves Kyler Murray. Yeah, but I still don't think he plays baseball for the A's. If I'm being honest, but
probably not. I don't think they're not going to let him do that. But maybe for 1 year, and then they go to Vegas the next year, and then he gives up on his baseball career.
I mean, he would just be in the minor leagues anyways. So I mean,
okay. So let's go. Raiders go with Kyler, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, do you want to go with Quinnen Williams? That's not really that significant of a pick, but I guess Quinnen Williams would then go to
Tampa.
No, the Giants are nose tackles. Come on, Dave Gettleman.
No, Tampa was 5. Tampa was still ahead of the Giants.
No, wait, I thought Giants were 5.
No, Giants were 6. Daniel Jones was a 6th.
Fuck, man. Yeah, see that. So do they go maybe with Vita Vea and they try to combine him? I think that's the year they had Ndamukong Suh, right?
Yeah. So I think they go Quinnen.
No, I think they go with they stick with Devin White.
So does Quinnen drop then? I think that's too much in depth. Let's just have one of them go somewhere.
Because I like the David Gettleman only drafts D tackles. I like that whole thing. So they're just gonna have a shit ton of D tackles, and they're all gonna play all D tackles, and they're gonna play them all at the D line. It's gonna be Quinnen Williams. It's gonna be Snacks Harrison. It's gonna be what's that other dude? David Tomlinson, I think, or something. What's his name? They have some other D tackle that's kind of similar to that.
Somewhat irrelevant.
D tackles, and there's just gonna be a bunch of D tackles, and they're all gonna be trying to sack.
And Giants somehow win a lot of games with Eli back at the helm. Cardinals are The Niners are pretty good. Niners make the playoffs again. Don't make the Super Bowl run. Jimmy leads the Browns to the Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo versus Pat Mahomes in the AFC Championship. Jimmy this time wins because he has Odell Beckham wide open. Hits Odell Beckham in stride. The Browns win the Super Bowl against Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
Thank you. Done.
Okay, let's recap real quick. So let's just do this. We start off with Jimmy from the Browns. Lemire's pissed off. Lemire came around to apparently Jimmy won the Super Bowl. I don't know. Just Lemire's bizarro and Blitz bizarro. Patriots. Oh, we never actually. I guess we can say that for another day. The Patriots lose. I guess Tom Brady would leave anyway at one point, but whatever. Fuck it. Tom Brady leaves in was just gonna be the same thing. Cam Newton comes. We'll stick with the same Jared Stidham type of story. Those two guys are gonna be there. But yeah. That's what happens with New England. They also have Bradley Chubb now, as well as the Browns are now Super Bowl winners according to Lemire. They win a Super Bowl with Jimmy,
because he hits Odell right in the hands.
The Niners have Kirk. They have Quentin Nelson, but no Nick Bosa this time. So their pass rush not as good. Maybe probably
Buckner stays. Buckner
and D Ford. Eric Armstead, maybe Sully. They put him back at edge. He probably still sucked. Let's see what other ones are we missing.
Aaron Rodgers goes to Super Bowl.
Aaron Rodgers goes to Super Bowl but loses still, which still makes the
Baker Mayfield's on the Cardinals. Mayfield's on the Cardinals now.
The Jets still have Darnold.
And that Nick
Rosen's on the Bills.
Bronco, yeah. Josh Rosen. They get Nathan Peterman and Josh Rosen, which is elite quarterback duo in Buffalo.
I actually think Rosen might not be too bad in Buffalo, to be honest.
This is much fun. We got to say that for another episode of Meters. This is another in-depth episode we can do. The Raiders get Kyler Murray. The Giants get another D tackle, and with the first overall pick, the New York Jets took Nick Bosa. So all kinds of weird shit happened. Thankfully, all of this is fake. It's not real. And I guess the outcome is the same for Niners anyway. We don't win the Super Bowl in 2019, regardless of which world we're in. But I think with that being said, you guys have anything else you want to add?
Not really. No.
Tom Brady never goes to Tampa Bay.
Tom Brady signs with the Tennessee Titans after Marcus Mariota balls out and gets a $200 million contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Gardner Minshew never plays.
Yep. And Mariota's a 2020 MVP candidate, just like he is right now.
He finishes second overall in voting behind Russell Wilson.
I think you guys are way too far in our Blitzarro land. We'll see you guys next week. Peace. I hate Mike Thomas so much. Actually, what is your dislike with Mike?
Yeah,
Thomas?
I retract my statement. I'm back.
You're not. I feel like you're bullshitting. Like you say that, but you're not actually. You still have a little bit of hate towards Mike Thomas.
No, 100% back on it. I retract my statement that.
You know it's recorded right now too.
Shit. Yeah, I dislike Mike Thomas.